started their reunion at our house in Wilson, North Carolina, on Black Creek Road. No, it's old Black Creek Road. And it started with my mother pulling her families together, her family, the Howard family, and the Dingle family. And then the following year, it was to be a surprise birthday party for my dad. So they invited more people. And Aunt Carrie came, and the different aunts came in. So it got to be the thing by the third year, we had relatives to come as far away as New York. I believe it was around the third year. And we just had a glorious time with the quartet and live music right there in the backyard and good food. Grandma Dingle, who lived next door, came over and had it. And we just had, what do you call it? Bring your blessing dish. The covered blessing thing, and we had the cakes. Daddy loves coconut cakes and mom bakes.
And the pig that he put in the ground?
Yes, not in the ground, on the pig. The barbecue pig that Daddy would stay up all night to barbecue the pig and chop it up for the family. Barbecue that tastes better than Parker's for those of you who know about Parker. And it was a glorious time. I remember that they brought gifts to him. He was really surprised. But it got to be such a thing that we said, why don't we try to let more Dingles know and spread the word? So the word got around, and when the next reunion came about, guess what? We had like 200 people in our house. Wow. Dingles came from everywhere, babies and grown folks and everybody. And it kept going. So several years later, we went to Durham, North Carolina, and Bessie had it at the Morrison cafeteria at Northgate Shopping Mall. And Rhoda and her family came in. We had never met them before. And it just kept growing and growing, branching out to different cities and different states. And there was, I don't know exactly when all the different families came in, but different people started telling different ones, and it got around until we had the Dingle connection from different states. Dingle connection from Ohio. You all remember them? We have a Florida down in Ohio. The Dingle connection from South Carolina, from Florida, from all the places. Now, I'm missing something that I wanted to mention.
Diane Smothers, I was thinking about her earlier.
Yes, Diane Smothers came, and Gladys, cousin Gladys, all that bunch. And Aunt Josephine's children, the Pendergrasses. Came in because they had been close to my family for many years. Anyway, that's enough, I think. But it goes on. We do have our history written. We need to update it, of course. And I appreciate the opportunity to share with you all about it. If you have any questions, you gotta ask us, okay? We love you and thank you so much for coming. And you are a part of the Dingle family. We gotta get your names and keep you connected.
Yes.
Uncle James would bring up Faye and Ray, and I think Dennis and Denise and all. They would come up and they would stay at our house, and we never got a chance to see them. Then we finally, my dad would disappear for a weekend. Where did he go? And we did not know the family reunion was going on. Sometimes he said he would just drive to the airport if he didn't feel like driving. Other time he would just drive up, and he said, well, I went to see James. Take us. So, but it was amazing, and it was such a wonderful time. And he even brought us back. He said when he was growing up, and he still was in his right mind, to a spring. And he kept driving and driving. We ain't gonna find that spring. He found that spring. And it was still coming up. And I just thought that was so amazing. And then the fresh water, you talking about some fresh bottled water. Take the bottles out there. It was really good and clean. And like I said, everything made you appreciate the family. And that's why we want to keep going. For those that are here, we're getting older now, you know. The next generation is step on up, our kids, bring them in, let them get to know their cousins. We've got family all up and down, we got family here from California, you know, New York, Florida, all over. And there's Dingles. If you go, Brody used to always say when she was traveling with the World Book, the first thing she would do in a hotel is pull up and look for Dingles. She would only find one or two. Now she finds papers. So it's a name that's really growing, and we've just got to come together and stick together because, you know, we are family. Right. And we've got to love on each other, and I just can't stress enough how we've got to look out for family. You know, if family is for doing, we got authors in the family, we've got musicians in the family, you know, we've got athletes. We got a lot of different things that's going on in our family. And we just got to learn to support it. Because once we start supporting and reaching out, you know, we're going to keep going. You know, push them out there. Get them out there. Get going. I was so excited when I got the text that said, Quintina, crash Amazon. And her book is lit. I was like, that's my cousin, y'all.
Was the year at Theola passed. And two of my brothers came with the Pendergrass to at Theola's final rites. And y'all told my brother about the reunion, Charles and Ina. And they came back and told us that y'all were having a reunion and all the families were getting together. So that year, I came. I don't remember any other cousins came or not, or whether Esther came. But I came to Durham and had a marvelous time. That's the first year. Now, the year Aunt Theola passed, I don't remember, but the year that she passed, you know, we were always in touch with the Pendergrass because we were neighbors. So James Pendergrass, who was Ruth's husband, always kept us in touch with what was going on. He would tell us, you know, where he had been and everything. So I knew that my cousin, well, I knew Cousin James very well because Uncle James and Uncle Urban would come home. James would drive Uncle Urban home. And I knew him, and when he married Ruby, oh, there was so much love. They didn't have any children. But he brought Ruby and Uncle Urban to South Carolina, and they visited with us. And also the Carters, you all do not know about that side of your family that much, I don't think. But the Carter was grandmother Callie's family. She was a Carter. They were outstanding people at David Station. We had one who was a cobbler. That man made shoes, one of the Carters. He was a crippled man, and he made shoes. You remember Rufus Esther? Rufus Carter, he made shoes. I also remember being told that Booker T. Washington heard about the Dingles and the Pearsons and how industrious they were and that they all owned land, and Booker T. Washington went to that settlement. It's still called the Freetown until this very day. And that's where our parents came out of, the Freetown, below David Station, South Carolina. When we had the reunion in Manning, I took some of you all there to that area. It's called the Freetown. We have a very, very rich history. Booker T. Washington heard about our ancestors and went to visit them. And he took Cousin Albert Dingle, not our granddad, a cousin, and another one of the cousins to Tuskegee, and they graduated from Tuskegee, and they went with Booker T. Washington. So our family have a very, very rich history. A very rich history. And it's documented. We just don't have a lot of it, but if you look for it, it's documented.
His great father, he sent all of his children to college. And we didn't have to beg him for money. He always had money available for us. Pay for books, pay for tuition, whatever you need, he had the money to pay for it. So he worked hard all of his life, and he provided for us all of his life. And I miss him a lot, but he's gone now, and I can't bring him back. But I miss him a great deal. So I just want to thank you for remembering him.
Go to David Station to see about the property there. And he would write Mother, Destis Julia, and he would tell her, the business on the postcard, Destis Julia, I did so and so and so and so. And Uncle Urban would always tell us to go to school and get good grades in school. Very, very, very encouraging. And he was funny. He loved to laugh. And he would tell us things and he would laugh more than we could laugh. I remember Uncle Urban very well, my dad's brother, and my mother told me about how close Uncle Urban and my dad were as brothers. I think they were only 1 year apart in age, and they were like twins. And I remember James telling us that when my dad died, Uncle Urban cried for 3 months. Because he couldn't, it cost, I think, $1.50, and he couldn't raise the money to come to the funeral. And at that time, you couldn't keep a person long. Right. So Uncle Urban and my dad were like twin brothers. They were very close. Albert Dingle was married twice. So Uncle Irvin and my dad were from Cali, Carter Dingle. The first wife was a Pearson. And that's Uncle Elliot. You know the Dingles in Florida. That's Uncle Elliot's children's father. So it's a lot of our history that a lot of people don't know. A lot of you all probably don't know. But Mother and Uncle Johnny used to make us laugh about the family so much. Because it seems that the family always owned land, some of them somewhere. And how they fought over the land and where the line was, and you on my part of the land. That went on a lot. Yeah.
I remember, as a matter of fact, he was driving a school bus when he was young. And he couldn't even drive a car, but he could drive a school bus. I didn't think that was fair. But they made him do it. He drove, and so he continued that occupation. He became a bus driver. And most of his family is still around the Baltimore area, so I just want to throw out, I remember Uncle Charles Dingle.
He was also military.
Mayor told me that when he went to try out to get his driver's license to drive the school bus, get the license for that, he drove so well until the highway patrol told him, ain't no way you could drive this well if you have not been driving all the time. So the patrol told him, I know you've been driving all the time, and I better not catch you without your license. So he had to look at, at that time, everyone didn't get a license, they just drove,
Yeah.
So he made us laugh about that a lot. The patrol told him, I know you've been driving a long time.
And children, and really looked out for us. So she encouraged all of us to get to know each other and to stay close with each other. I also remember we lovingly tease each other, all the time. Literally, this one right here, all the time. And we'll make little smart comments and things like that, but it's all in fun, and we're just laughing. But Grandma would say, don't talk about each other like that. Stop that teasing. Y'all are cousins. You gotta love each other. So I remember she's greatly missed.
Also known as Laverne. I'm Joseline's daughter. My mother would have been Josephine, would have been my mother. That's my husband Cyrus over there, our grandson Adani. At some point, my two daughters will show up. They said they're headed over here now, Kiana and Celia. And then I also have two sons, Torre and Jarrell, who live in San Francisco and Los Angeles. Who didn't make it for it as well. And we're glad to be here and meeting you guys.
All right.
In the late 1800s. And now we, 20. But they own land in the late 1800s.
Yeah, I was wondering if she could tell us about how they said today that the Dingles were never slaves, we were free. And I think that was through Carolina Dingle or someone like that. I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about that.
I don't
remember
I
that?
know, but it always said that we were never slaves. Cousin Sarah told me that. She lived to be well over 100 years old.
Okay.
And she's been gone for a long time. Her brother was one of the persons that Booker T. Washington took to Tuskegee. His name was also Albert Dingle. And she told us that we were never slaves, that we were always free people. The Dingles were, and the Carters. And the Carters were grandmother Callie's maiden name.
The Carolina Dingle was a part of our roots, and they owned the area called Moncks Corner, South Carolina, out near the dam that ran through. Now, none of us own any of that land today, but
It got away from us.
but yes, it did. We did own it. Mm-hmm. They owned the entire town.
Wow. Well, I know we went to Moncks Corner. I think when Cousin Rhoda showed us Moncks Corner before.
I think Mo's Dingle is one of the cousins or something around all of them. Anyone here from the Moncks Corner? Because on our mailing list, guys, we sent out like 150 letters, and that's Albert and Carolina Dingle, the Mo's Dingle, who was the other Dingle? Carter Dingle, Carolina Dingle. I think that's where the Brightmans and Dan Dingle, all this come through Carolina. All those were cousins back then from the Moncks Corner area. And there's a road, because I was like, oh, Mo's Dingle Road, and Moncks Corner, that's one of my cousins.
Right, and it was. You were right.
So, yeah,
Carolina had 23 children. So, yeah, we was all over the place.